It's a condition that affects people in the prime of their lives, from baseball players to actors, politicians, and musicians. That includes men and women. It's a disease that robs them of the ability to use muscles from head to toe. Find out how one local foundation equips, encourages, and empowers people living with ALS. All this and more today on Time. Good morning, I'm Gigi Barnett. Welcome to On Time, and thank you for joining us. A quality of life can change in an instant, and no one knows this better than former Raven O.J. Brigance, who went from a high of winning the Super Bowl to getting a diagnosis of ALS back in 2007. Since that time, he and his wife Chanda formed the Brigance Brigade Foundation, an organization that we all know and love around here in Baltimore. Joining me is the foundation's new director, Amanda Mumert, and Chanda Brigance. Thank you, ladies, for joining me.
Good morning. Good morning.
I want to start with you. Chanda, tell me about the day you all found out that O.J. Brigance has ALS.
Oh, my goodness, that day. Wow. That was a day that, well, first of all, we had never heard of ALS. We've never heard of it. We had no idea about it. We did not have any type of knowledge or understanding, so of course we had to get on the computer and do our homework and just find out, what is this, how long does it last, or how will we live with this. And so it was a day of surprise. It was a day of, okay, wow, where do we go from here? But we had our moments. We did kind of waddle in the floor a little bit, shed a few tears, but also there came a time where we said, okay, let's pick ourselves up and, okay, God, what is it you want us to do with this? Where do you want us to go with this? What is it that, that is in this that you want us to get from this?
Yeah, had you been seeing signs and symptoms before the diagnosis?
Yes, absolutely. OJ was playing racquetball, actually, and he felt numbness and just tingling in his shoulder, and during the time of just playing racquetball, so he just felt maybe it was some type of old football injury, or maybe it's just something that's coming back, and just, and it kept lingering on. And so that's when OJ said, hey, you know what, Chanda, I'm going to go and just to the doctor and just see, what's going on, if it's something a little more than just an old football injury.
Yeah, and it turned out to be something more.
And it turned out, yes.
Amanda, most folks know ALS as Lou Gehrig's disease.
Right.
What is it?
Sure. It's a progressive degenerative motor neuron disorder. So what that means is that the disease affects the neurons, and then the muscles that those neurons control waste away.
Is it hereditary?
There's some familial component, but there's also something known as sporadic ALS, so that can just happen in anyone.
And what were the tests used to diagnose him? Do you remember what they were?
You know what? It was so many different tests. I mean, so many. Actually, we got 4 opinions, actually. And each doctor, they have their own way of just testing and just looking and measuring, just as far as in looking at the muscles, his muscle, because his muscle was starting to, he was losing the strength in his shoulder and in its arm. And so just going through just a series of many medical testing that only the doctors can pronounce the names of. After going through, like I said, such a series of different tests through 4 different doctors, then that diagnosis came and said, hey, it is ALS.
And I mean, I can only imagine, I mean, if you're looking at your young, vibrant husband who was an NFL player. I mean, these are the muscles for days. I mean, what was it like seeing him kind of deteriorate into that?
Well, first and foremost, OJ, is my husband, and when I look at him, I see my husband. But looking past that, and like you say, just looking at the physical body, it's a huge difference, because he had conditioned his body to work out every day. He had rippling muscles and 8 packs, not 6, 8. But just to watch those muscles just get smaller and smaller and smaller, I mean, it was something to really get used to, and something that I don't want to get used to, and didn't plan to get used to, seeing my husband without the muscles or just being himself.
Yeah.
You know, so that was just a challenging part. But at the end of the day, he's still my husband. I still love him and still see him as OJ.
Right. Okay. And so then out of this, you say, let's do something, not just for us, but others. You form Brigance Brigade. How did you come to that idea?
Absolutely. After seeing just what it takes to get through just the everyday, just your normal everyday with the machines, equipment, and, you know, all of that, after seeing the pricing of it and just seeing how much it requires to live with such a disease, and with any disease actually, you know, it takes a lot of requirement. But after seeing just the cost of just the living expense just to get through each day, that's when we said, hey, the normal regular, you know, salary or a person, how would we afford this? So that's when we decided to form the organization, the Brigance Brigade, and say, hey, let's raise some funds to help people be able to afford equipment, machines, and, you know, just to help them get through just a day of life.
Right. And so now, Amanda, you're the new director. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Once you get the money from fundraisers like the ones we're going to talk about in a minute, what do you do with that?
Sure. Well, part of it is awareness building. As Chanda said, we still find that ALS is an underfunded and kind of quiet disease. And so that's a piece of it. And the other piece is that we want to help people who have ALS now who are really going to battle right away. And so with that, we like to help them with medical equipment, things that they need to be independent. We also do some funding for in-home caregiving.
Yeah, and I can only imagine that access to the equipment makes them more independent, which keeps them fighting longer.
Absolutely.
I can only imagine.
And they can still feel a part of life. You know, they can still be a part of life. They can still be active and a part in their families and with their friends. So this still gives them a sensibility of independence.
Yeah. You'll have a fundraiser that's coming up. Tell me about it.
It is Sunday, May 1st, in honor of OJ's jersey number 57. It's a 5.7K run. And there's also, if you're not a runner, a walk portion too. It's 1.57 miles.
Okay. All right. And so who are you? You're telling who to come out to this?
Everyone.
Okay. Okay.
Everyone.
And how is it that you're raising the funds? Is it that a registration fee, or do they create teams?
It's all of that. There is a small registration fee, but you can register on site as well on the morning of. And then we're also really encouraging people to raise money and build teams and come out and have a great time.
Yeah, you know, Chanda, I can only imagine that at the height of OJ's success on the field, I'm sure you all, when you go out, you have people, you know, come to you.
Absolutely.
And now they're coming up to you, not only for that, I'm sure it's still that, but a whole nother reason. What does that feel like?
A whole nother reason. You know something? It just allows OJ and I to see such big hearts that people have. You know, a lot of times when you're going through something, you think you're all by yourself. No one's going to, you know, want to be around me or talk to me, or, you know, you would think this, but actually you're really not. I mean, there's so many people who really love on us, encourage us, we're able to see the hearts, the true hearts of people, because that's when you truly see people, is when you're going through something, you know. And the people, it seems like people, even more people are coming out, especially the city of Baltimore. They've been so awesome. We cannot ask or really look for anything much bigger than what the people of Baltimore have given as far as support and being there for us and everything. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, 5.7 miles, or a K.
A K.
Don't say miles. I'll fall out, Amanda. Thank you so much for joining us. And congratulations on a new position, Amanda Moomer and Chanda Brigance.
Thank you.
Give OJ a hug for us, please.
I will. He's going to love that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So for how you can support the Brigance Brigade Foundations by attending the 5.7K. It's a championship run, and 1.57 mile run walk on May 1st at the Canton Waterfront Park. For details, call 410-878-2030 or register online at brigancebrigade.org.